Yeah, this is the SFS portion of the podcast. This is not down the road, no, this is Sfs4 podcast. And I'm never finished, so I'm going to be reading throughout this podcast. I'm going to be reading from a book. I wrote this book, okay? So there's no copyright on this book. And it's a very hard book because this is going to make you harder. I'm only trying to help people for their own good here. So, I'm going to start reading this book, and I'm going to be harsh the way I say it, because you need that motivation. You need that fire under your chest. It doesn't matter how hard you work, whether you're shoveling shit or, milking the cows or fucking cleaning up the barn or working on a Christmas day doing chores. That's what you have to do. And you never see the payoff. It doesn't matter because you're never finished. Right. Let's go. Once I started again, I walked for the first 10 minutes. My gait was fucked, so where my lungs knit. But when I saw my first headlamp, I felt a little spark. After that, I began to add the pressure back, bit by bit. My pace increased, and my competitive edge resurfaced. I managed to pass 24 people before hitting the aid station at mile 140. Kish was next up as pacer, and she had a ball. We'd been running together for years, but this was the first time she was able to check me on a long stretch, and she made it look way too fucking easy. To be fair, the terrain was flat and smooth, but she hadn't slept either. She'd been the crew chief for the whole time, yet ran like she had a full night's sleep. I'd run a total of 157 fucking miles, and was deep in the hurt locker. Get that? I was deep in the hurt locker. Yeah. While she was checking her phone, collecting footage, and keeping tabs on the crew, whenever I stopped to walk, she always ran a bit further ahead to wait for me. Fucking bitch. She wasn't trying to get under my skin, well, she fucking did. Tell you that. But I took it as a challenge and was able to pick up the pace enough to pass several dozen runners. Because we're in a marathon right now. A marathon to the death. If you're gonna win, you're gonna die at the end. That's how it goes. Some were walking. Fucking pussies. Others were asleep on the trail or at the aid stations, content to take their time, knowing they had 3 or more days to complete the course. The one person I couldn't keep pace with was Kish. That fucking cunt. And that's all I cared about. By the time we got to RD46 aid station at mile 167, I was back in the top 10 in the race. Yes, I fucking was. Take that, bitches. But it wasn't time for high-fiving because my longest shoes were still there. It didn't matter if I was running or walking, standing up or sitting down. I could not get a full breath. Oh, God, I was freezing too. My dick was like a cocktail sausage, it was so fucking cold, which was a sign that my thyroid may not have had enough time to completely reset. I felt fucking horrible, but I had weathered a thyroid problem and firmed through the night for a second night in a fucking row. Pain and discomfort were to be expected, and I fucking loved it. This aid station had more food stands, and I ate my fill. As I left a few minutes ahead of my pacer, who was still organising gear and wasn't ready to go, I wondered if I'd eaten too much because my chest felt tight as fuck. Oh, my chest is getting tight just fucking thinking about this. Did I have a digestive issue? That's the question. I couldn't say for sure, so I continued to troubleshoot. I had a fully loaded pack on my back that was heavy enough to make the chest strap extremely tight. Maybe that was what prevented my lungs from fully expanding. I loosened the strap, and I felt even worse. Sorry, I was just thinking about my digestive problems. You know, I don't think my stomach's working good. Well, I had gone farther than this once before I was back. That was back in all the way in 2007 and on a flat 1 mile track. Because I was a pussy back then and all I could do was 1 mile. I'd never gone this far on this type of terrain and these conditions. But I had pushed myself to the limit plenty of times. I'd never felt anything like this. Could it be a sickle cell crisis? That's what Mobb Deep's got. Prodigy for Mobb Deep, sickle cell. Yeah, R.I.P. to Prodigy for Mobb Deep. Anyway, if it was, I'd never had one this serious. I couldn't pinpoint the problem, but by the time my pacer caught me, I felt something was extremely fucking wrong. Why's everything going wrong again? I told him everything, and as I listened to myself spill my sob story, I couldn't help thinking about all the bitch-ass whiners I'd come across over the fucking years who gave every excuse in the world as to why they couldn't finish whatever day it was they started, you fucking pussies. The vast majority of them were simply looking for a way out that allowed them to keep their heads up. But like me, when I quit Power Rescue, I took a mental note of all them motherfuckers. Yes, I did. I took a mental note of all them fuckers, I'm telling you. Remember the scenarios they're in, and I kept them on a lock in tight. The lock was tight as I kept them in a lock on my brain. And here I was, sounding just like them, like a fucking pussy. Whether it's a 7-mile run or a 240-mile run, we all knew what it's like to bargain with ourselves to avoid having to do the very thing we said we would. We say we're overworked, overwhelmed, or just over it entirely. I never get into that bullshit because I know there are a lot of people out there who do not have that choice to make. They cannot run at all and wish like hell they fucking could. At the same time, I knew I wasn't merely uncomfortable. I was fucked up. But running Nib 240 had been my choice. Staying in the race had been my choice. And it was a blessing that I had those choices to make. So like always, I soldiered the fuck on. And as the trail wound through the farmland and pitched towards the sky and into the mountains, deep into the mountains that had looked painted against the distant horizon all day, I reminded myself why I wanted to be there. It was for that 1 second of glory, the biggest high of all time, baby, that strikes and fades like a bolt of lightning, but only if you manage to figure out the way to swim through all the pain, overcome every last obstacle and cross the finish line. Over the next 13 miles, we gained 3,500 feet of altitude of elevation, and my pace slowed dramatically. Part of that was the incline, but there were times when the footing was bad too. In sections, the trail was covered with slate, shattered cobbles, and boulders. Fuck 'em. It was unstable as fuck. As shit, I mean. Sorry for my language. As I took my time, and after 10 miles, I actually started to feel a little better. I didn't feel great though, so don't get it twisted, you fuckers. But my condition had improved, and my pacer, who had done the due diligence and fast performances to gauge how hard I should push on each section, said that we were covering this leg at a fast clip. That gave me hope as the trail wound into the alpine forest at just under 9,000 feet and into the Pole Canyon aid station at the dusk. When a volunteer griddled fluffy pancakes and handed them all to the combers. My crew was there waiting on me with syrupy stack and a race update. I don't want a fucking update. I had moved all the way up to 8th place. Not good enough, though. Even if my problems were digestive, and I wasn't entirely convinced of that. I still had to fuse up. I took the plate from Kish and continued to troubleshoot while I ate. I asked if she had accidentally mixed the wrong powder, something with caffeine. No, caffeine. I don't want caffeine. Don't want to go all jittery. Yeah, nothing with caffeine in my water bottles. I have a caffeine intolerance, but Kish knew that, assured me that did not happen. One thing I still hadn't considered was altitude. Because we were climbing. At times, we were not very high for very long. My lungs had been fine during Leadville just 6 weeks earlier, as I ran the majority of those 100 miles above 10,000 feet. Yes, get it, 10,000 feet. Beat that, fuckers. The source of my problem remained elusive, and that bothered me because the race was nowhere near fucking done. Anyway, could happen out there, and sure enough, not long after I made my way out of the aid station, my breathing problems returned. Fuck, not again. Within 5 minutes, I stopped and asked Dan, my pacer for this section, to call Kish and tell her and the crew to stay at Paul Canyon in case we needed to turn around. But also, I wanted to give myself every chance to walk through the fire. Maybe it was the pancakes. Yeah, maybe I'm a fat cunt after all. Last time, I felt better after a couple of hours. And if I could stay upright and on the trail, then it followed that these symptoms might pass away again. Incremental progress is still progress, I said to myself. One step is all that's required to take the next one. With that in mind, I told Dan to call Jennifer again and say we were going to press on and we wouldn't let her know if anything changed. We continued climbing into the night towards the highest point in the entire race, at 10,500 feet. The protocol was this: take a few steps, double over, lean heavily on my paws until I could get a few deep breaths necessary to power me forward for another 3 to 5 steps. Repeat. I couldn't breathe. And all while I was moving. It was all panting and gasping. Yes, whenever I stopped to breathe, I felt like a dog. I couldn't see Dan waiting for me with a concerned look on his face. I'm sorry. I gasped. I'm sorry. I must have said sorry close to 300 fucking times. For fuck's sake, what's going on in my head? I don't know why I kept apologizing. Fuck. Mostly, he responded, "It's not that far to the top, lad." Which was quite comical because I knew we weren't even close. He was trying to spoon feed me some hope, but hope would not get me to the top. Nice try, Dan, I thought to myself. Fuck. In the 4th hour, about 6 miles into a 16.5 mile section. That's right, 16.5 mile section. Get that. We were moving at a fucking snail's pace. Just over 30 minutes per mile. I finally and abruptly stopped. This ain't good, I said, gasping. I was proud of myself for trying, but I still wasn't feeling any better. In fact, my lungs had gone so much worse, and Dan agreed that we should get off the course and find a medic. He downed Kish and broke the news, and I watched his face fall at her response. "Hey, dude," he said after he hung up. I was still bent over at the waist. Oh, God. Begging for oxygen. Luckily, there was no man behind me drilling the shit out of my crack, but, The guy said, "I hate to tell you this, dude, but we gotta walk out of here, dude." He explained that there were only 2 options. Option 1 was to descend 6 miles back to the Pole Canyon. Option 2 was to keep climbing for 9 more miles towards the trailhead where my crew could meet us. None of this came as a surprise to me. as we were on a narrow, single track. I had been looking for different trails that might offer a possible way out all night, but I ain't fucking seen one, for fuck's sake. The only trail I saw was the one I'm fucking walking on right now, and I knew there was no way a vehicle like a fucking ATV or a buggy or some of that old fucking tricky shit or anything of that sort could reach me here in no man's land. I also knew for certain there was no helicopter to fly my sorry's ass out of there. The only way out was under my own power. Going back to Pole Canyon was not an option. Yeah. Because, despite my wretched condition, I did not intend to quit the race. Somehow I was still willing, so instead of losing mileage, I opted to continue climbing. This was no longer a fucking race to me. No, this was no longer a fucking race. This had become a fucking war! And I was wounded, but maintained hope that eventually the medic would dial me in and I could carry on with the fight. The night closed in around us as we picked away at the distance. In some spots, the trail was just wide enough to place my feet down, one in front of the fucking other. Drop-offs materialized from the shadows without warning. Breathing continued to be a fucking struggle. And I couldn't stop thinking about John Scott, that fucking cunt, the young 6'2", 225 sack of shit who died. Oh no, sorry, I thought about another one. I didn't know he was sick. Yeah. But yeah, he died. I didn't know he was sick though. But who died of pulmonary edema during the third Hell Week? Yes, I used to go through Hell Weeks. That's what I did back in the Navy. I went through Hell Weeks. I would shuffle my feet forward, lean over my poles, close my eyes, and there he was, feverish and jackhammering, suffering from pneumonia at the late stages of pulmonary edema on the pole deck. That pissed me off. His skin was almost translucent, his eyes vacant. His breath shallow as fuck, just like mine. He looked fragile as porcelain. Well, it depends what porcelain you're talking about. Some porcelains are very, very, hard and, they're the cheap ones I'm used to, I just break the fuckers, That fucking cheap anyway, fuck 'em. When we rejoined the caterpillar swim, whatever you fucking want to call it, he was weak because he could barely breathe. And within a few minutes, he was found on the bottom of the pool and could not be resuscitated, which means he could not be shocked by the shock system to be alive again. He had to flatline, unfortunately. Scott had been trying to become a SEAL at all costs. I always will respect him for that. I wouldn't have done the same thing. There are certain things in life that weren't an even if I die mindset. Sometimes that's a place you have to go. You have to be willing to die just to get your own respect. But what's on the other side of the mountain, eh? Has to be something you want more than anything in the world, eh? However willing I may have been, finishing Move 240 did not qualify. I'd accomplished enough that finishing the race wouldn't fucking change the damn thing. When it came to how I felt about myself, I certainly didn't need to die for it. But I was prepared to fucking die for it, because I don't give a fuck. By then, I suspected I had high altitude pulmonary edema, so what I had to do was get some Colombians to fly 2 tons of coca leaf in, so I could be comfortable at high altitudes, because that's what coca leaf does. Yeah, a dangerous condition in which the lungs fill up with blood and plasma. It's a version of what happened to Scott, and it can happen to anybody in the high country, even experienced mountaineers at relatively low altitudes. I was that close to 10,000 fucking feet, for fuck's sake, which is not at all that high for me. No, I get higher every night sitting on the fucking couch. But because I'd already run over 200 miles, I was susceptible to anything and everything which less than 3 miles to go before I would reach the top of the peak and the next aid station at mile 201.4 to be exact. A medic and 2 members of my crew found us on the trail. Unfortunately, there was nothing the medic could do for me. My choices were either to continue walking all the way to the aid station or stop at a trailhead on the way. Where our vehicle was waiting, I knew that after the next aid station there was a long descent. And despite how shitty I felt, it doesn't matter how shitty you feel, you do it. Even if you got the flu, it doesn't matter, you do. I did wonder if my body might be able to bounce back, you know. Then I caught myself. I've often mistaken for a misogynist. Is that what it says? Some people think I push past pain and take unreasonable risks for sport or spectacle. But that's not fucking true. I push a lot harder than most, but I don't do it to injure myself or impress others, okay? Okay? And I sure as hell don't want to die. I do it because the body and mind never fail to amaze me. I have no business hiking 16.5 miles in my condition. The last 9 felt damn near impossible because I thought I'd reached my physical limit. And when I looked for it, I found more. Whenever I've been challenged, whenever I've been forced to scrap for additional resources to stay afloat, there's always been more. Always fucking more. Why? Always fucking more. That's why I ride that line, because those dark moments are rare, raw, and beautiful. However, that night, I felt more fucked up than I've ever been in my fucking life. And I knew that any extra stress on my body might be my breaking point, okay? When we reached the trailhead, I left the course to seek medical treatment, which meant, according to the rules, that I was automatically done fucked up. On the drive to the local hospital, we lost nearly 6,000 feet in altitude, and I began hooking up knots of brown pilgrim. P-H-L-E-G-M. I don't know how to pronounce it, because I don't, okay? I'm an athlete, okay? In the emergency room, the doctor took a chest x-ray. Fucking weird cunt. That confirmed my air sacs were full of fluid. Oh, God. I had HAPE. That's right. H-A-P-E. I had H-A-E-P, alright. She checked my vitals. Drew blood, gave me a small volume of nebulizer oxygen treatment to open up the lungs, and tested my P-H-L-E-G-M to see what kind of infection was present. A few hours later, around 6 in the morning, the hospital discharged me with an inhaler that would help keep my lungs open up. Yeah, just a minute. My throat. Oh, God. Yeah. So here I am in the hospital bed. As you can see the pictures, everyone's reading my book. You can see, someone's checking my heart. And I look. I'm in a woolly hat. And I look fucking out of it. That's right. When Kish and I got back to the condo we rented, the rest of our crew was busy packing, cleaning, and getting ready to travel home. The mood was subdued. This race had been tough on everyone, but especially fucking me, okay? Especially me. Just have that in mind. My crew had fought through multiple setbacks and weathered a ton of highs and lows, and while I was proud of running 250 miles with a broken fucking body, and considered those last 60.5 miles of the slow marching some of the greatest fucking shit I've ever fucking clocked. Taking a DNF is a shitty feeling. DNF means, I think, done, motherfucker, or something. And everybody knew it. At least, though, I felt better. By afternoon, I stopped coughing up PHLEGM. Pilligrim! Pilligrim! I don't know what the fuck it means, okay? I wrote something in my book, but I don't know what it fucking means, okay? And my body temperature and energy levels were back to normal. Which told me that my thyroid was functioning again. When I had to take DNFs in the past, there were no quick bounce back. I was out and out for weeks. This situation was new, and it sent my mind reeling. There were a lot of people who stayed down way too long. They might have been sick as hell, but are on the mend. Yet, when asked how they are feeling, they act like they're no better fucking pussies to me. In fact, they play it up for pity points. Well, I've got no pity for you motherfuckers. I am not one of those motherfuckers, okay? The second I feel I can get after it, I'm going to get the fuck after it. Bottom line, I was struggling with the fact that I was feeling well enough to compete and was in the condo instead of on the trail. A voice in my head woke me from my fitful slumber at 3 in the morning. It repeated the same savage mantra over and over again. You're not done yet, motherfucker. You're not done yet, motherfucker. You're not done yet, you stupid motherfucker. You motherfucker. I popped up, very-eyed and half asleep. There was nobody else in the room but Kish, and she was dead to the world. I lay back down and closed my eyes, but the voice returned. You are not done yet, motherfucker. You are not done yet, motherfucker. You are not done yet, motherfucker. I knew what I had to do, but I had no clue how Kish would take it. We packed it in. Packed all of it in. 2 members of the crew had already left, and the other 2 were leaving on flights in a matter of hours. But I would finish the job alone if necessary. I turned and placed my hand on Kish's shoulder. She blinked twice. What a sweetie pie.
What time does the finish line close?
Her eyes were going wide as she said it, as if she were watching my big fucking dick go out the middle of my fucking forehead. She was that disorientated, so I asked again. Well, I asked this time, what time does the finish line close, Kish? Kish knew that what I really wanted to know was if there was enough time left for me to run the last 40 or so miles. The race had started 4 days ago, but runners had 110 hours to complete it. She sat up and grabbed her phone from the nightstand.
We have 15 hours, okay?
There was something, matter of fact, about the way she said it. It fed my fire. She may not have understood why I was still holding on to this race, but her mind was made up. She was in, and that's all that mattered. We got up, and I roasted 2 members of my crew who were still with us and asked if they would be willing to postpone their flights for 1 more day. Just 1 more day of hell, boys. Within a few minutes, we were all in the kitchen arranging our gear and grabbing a quick bite. A little bit of the rest had done me good, and while Moab was only at 4,000 feet in elevation, and things might change as we return to altitude, I wouldn't be in the high country for long. There was only 1.5 miles of climbing, then a long descent back to town. But don't mistake my willingness to finish the job as excitement to get back out there and run another fucking 40 miles. I had already run a total of 215 fucking miles over the last 4 fucking days. And now I felt well enough to get after it. My body had started to recover, which meant I was stiff and very fucking swollen. I knew this would fucking hurt. Before we left, Kiss placed a call to my doctor back home to make sure I wasn't taking any unnecessary risks. After a moment of silence to consider who she was talking to, my perusal of my thick-ass medical file in her mind, she okayed it.
If you start to feel symptoms, please stop immediately. Leave the course and return to lower elevation, she said.
On the drive out the mountain, my ears popped. Pop! Yeah. Which was a reminder of how much altitude we were gaining. I had no clue what would happen at 10,500 feet, but while I didn't really want to run again, I suspected I was capable, which meant I had to try to finish the job. Completing the blueprint is what excited me, so that's what I focused on. Kish pulled into the trailhead parking lot near the mile marker 200. It's got a mark that says 200 on the mile marker, where I had left the course. I was looking to waste no time at altitude. My pacer and I grabbed our gear and headed up the mountain quickly. My team maintained contact for those first 2 miles to make sure I was okay. My legs were fucking stiff as fucking rocks. And I walked with an unsteady gait, and my breathing was fine though, okay? Still, I felt weak and unconfident. This course had gotten the better of me. Oh, fucking motherfucker. Since mile 72. And part of me thought I was either fucking insane or stupid for trying to finish. Probably both. Kish drove on the gravel road, heading towards the mountaintop, and with going the distance, busting through the open windows, she pulled up alongside and smiled. Them was an old friend. We shared countless dark times, and it never failed to drown out all my intended chatter to wake up my inner savage. I let the music soak in and found my determination to mark a course that had been kicking my ass for 4 fucking days. I'm back, you motherfuckers! I yelled, picking up my pace. You thought you could hand me? You thought you had me down? Only for a second. I'm back. From then on, it was all growth. The next 5 miles are the strongest of my entire race. I hit a level of awareness that allowed me to run free and unpack and examine the previous 200 plus miles at the same time. With my feet still on the same ground where I'd come up short, eyes on the rocks and the trees that played tricks on me, and my mind where I fucked up, I was able to complete my ultimate blueprint. And the most important thing I learned as I descended towards the red rocks of Moab was that 205 miles is an entirely new rhythm. And my failure came down to the fundamental flaw in my approach. I perfected the 100-mile distance. I knew the gear I needed and how to manage the distance with my mind. But that proved irrelevant in Moab. 100 miles have aid stations sprinkled every 6 to 10 miles. In Moab, the aid stations were often several hours apart. All but one of dozens of 100-mile races I've run were on well-marked courses. This fucking course sucks, clock. Yeah, so there was no need to prioritize navigation. I'd rocked up like this was just another race, but it was a whole different arena. And that single error led to a cascade of small mistakes that were magnified by the distance into catastrophe. Next year, the Moab 240 would be part race, part military mission. I would imagine the worst case scenario and work backwards from there, so no matter what the fuck happened, I would be armed with a plan to remain competitive. I realized that the further the distance, the more I have all the details dialed the fuck in. There would be no room to take chances with gear or meds. I had to carry it all with me. I couldn't count on bridging great distances between meetups with my crew in a timely fashion. I needed to spot check my paces, update my fucking phone, and have backup comas on hand, because yeah, I am a pussy. Because the old me would never need any meds, would never need any comas or anything. If I had to die, and even die slow, I fucking would. Okay? Because I am the hardest bastard in the fucking planet in this orbit of Milky Ways and supernovas. I needed to spot check my... Yeah, I've already said that, what the fuck? Normally, I enjoy being unreachable and off the grid, away from every fucking cunt there is, when I'm trail running. But next year, I would make an exception, because that's what the course demands. I worked over a dozen of small adjustments in my mind as I flew all the way downhill, my lungs in fine shape, my stride efficient and powerful. I reminded myself that in each and every evolution of life, you never want to be the principal reason for a failed mission. Okay? Nobody wants to wake up after the race is over wishing they had been better prepared. If something surprises you in anything you are trying to accomplish these days, with so much free knowledge at our fingertips, yes, you've got it all fucking great, you fucking millennial bastards. It is because you didn't prepare well enough, okay? You've always got to be organised. And there is no excuse for not preparing well enough. Doesn't matter whether you got ADHD, doesn't matter whether you smoked a bunch of weed the night before. You fucking get organised or die. Missions may fail for dozens of reasons, which is fine. Make sure it was something beyond your control. An act of God or Mother Nature that prevented you from achieving your goal. Then draw up your ultimate blueprint and try again. Yes, that's the key word. Try again and again and again and again. As I run for the bike trail on the Mob City streets, yes, I'm in the city and I fucking hate it. I hate the fucking smell of polluted air, the fucking scent of human fucking scumbag walking everywhere. Yes, I got pissed off. As soon as I hit the city, I got pissed off. Anyway, I knew I'd make the cut-off, but because I whatever, I didn't have the right to cross the official finish line. For me, that would have had to wait till next year. We found a worthy alternative, a random telephone pole, one of several on a busy fucking highway. As the traffic zoomed by, I jogged along the shoulder of the motorway until my total mileage clicked over to 255. That included the official 240 plus those 15 unofficial miles that added on to 240 plus miles I was meant to do. I didn't raise my arms or pump my fist, and nobody seemed to notice one man finish what he fucking started. But I felt a deep sense of fucking satisfaction. Yeah, that's right. I do feel satisfaction. Only for a split second, then it's back to work, okay? There was no fanfare, but there was glory. Only for a second though, then it's back to work. And it was all inside.